We've got the expiring contracts in WWE this week. Oh man. So there was one angle I was going to take on this, and I thought that I saw something interesting as far as, yeah, man, what are these contracts really? Like, why do we keep refreshing and there's a new WWE person with a deal coming up? So I saw a comment that asked, "Hey, are these shows all the result of back in 2019? We heard those rumors about WWE not wanting to lose anybody to AEW, so they were just saying, sign these 5-year deals. Do not go there." And you know what happens? The time passes, you don't even think about it. We look up and it's 5 years later, and what's happening? Becky Lynch is up. Chad Gable's up. Ricochet's up. Natalia's up. Several other people are up as well, like that are kind of like on the periphery. And I think it kind of exposes what people don't want to talk about, like as far as like, yeah, man, they've been trying to make sure no one goes to AEW for much longer than, it seems. And I guess I'll just talk about Becky Lynch. Let's start there. So Becky loses the belt. They do like this kind of like played up thing, like she's on Twitter talking about to be continued. They've heavy-handedly kind of pushed this thing, and I don't know, man, something don't smell right. Like, I don't know why. Like, obviously there's the thought of, yeah, WWE put out these easy PR wins and whatever, but once someone gets into free agency, anything can happen when someone's not under a contract, because the dirty secret for a lot of these things is people don't actually make it to free agency. Around the times like when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were coming up on their deals, Drew McIntyre were coming on their deals, they were not getting into free agency and then meeting with people saying, hey, this is my offer, this is what I got here. Like, WWE's re-signing them obviously, and they're not reaching the point where they're negotiating with anyone else, like Kevin Owens, like Sami Zayn. Now, in Becky's case, she is a free agent. So, what would, like, if you were, I'll just ask it to you guys listen to this show. If you were Becky Lynch, would you take a phone call from AEW? You absolutely have to take the call to see just what the number is, right? And if you're anyone that says, no, I wouldn't take the call, I would say you are insane and you need to stop having a blind sense of loyalty to the Fed, or imagining that Becky Lynch has this blind sense of loyalty that you don't know that you're imagining this for her, essentially. Look at Chris Jericho. For the longest time, I will never work for anybody other than Vince McMahon and WWE. What happened to Chris Jericho? You start looking around, you're like, what offers are out there? And when you're a free agent, you might like something better. You might, just take a call and see what they're talking about. And it's not like Tony Khan doesn't have the money. He'll do it. Test him. I don't like the way this smells. I think Becky has been, like, for WWE to get her back, I think they're going to need to substantially make her unquestionably the highest paid woman in the history of wrestling to start. Also, they're going to have to offer her some type of creative role, I think, because if you have read any of these Becky Lynch interviews and seen, kind of how she operates, and obviously, some of the stuff in her book is, kind of came out, like, she wants women in wrestling to kind of be on par with men. And I don't know, if you look at the way Triple H books women and the spots that he has them in, it's not inspiring. It's not like the peak of how women in WWE have gotten opportunities to get booked. It's just, ho hum. Like, and if this was another company, the way Triple H is book women, people would go crazy. But of course, the great and all powerful Paul Levesque can't be challenged or tested or anything. But I see like a lot of the way that things are booked, and then you read Becky Lynch's interviews. Some of that stuff don't add up. It's like if you feel like you have the capacity to change this stuff, you cannot be happy with what the little scraps that have been given. Obviously, she's a new mom. She is, Rollins is home right now, so you can't underestimate, the value of being at home, with your loved ones and all that. All I'm saying is, would it shock me for her to jump? No. I'm not saying she will. And is this me dipping my foot on both sides? Maybe a little bit. But I think Becky is in a very unique position because she has so much goodwill. She has goodwill that even someone like Mercedes didn't have, because Mercedes essentially spit in the face, it seems like, of like the tradition, and she signed with the evil AEW. They'll turn on Becky too if she does. Don't worry about it. But there is a sect of people that have blamed Becky Lynch and like not valued her, which I think is flat insane. I think the fact that it's gotten this far with WWE, basically saying, yeah, man, you popped this rating in NXT and got us this TV deal. I thought that should have been a blank check for Becky Lynch to write her number. The fact that they have not got her on paper yet, despite that stuff, that's a red flag to me. Like, that's like, hold on, y'all didn't pay her after she did that? We're somewhere else. It's TKO. It's all this stuff like with them, and it's like, it's unpredictable. Just because it's new ownership, maybe they don't see the value in her. Maybe she's looking around and it's like, yeah, man, it's not the same, promotion. I could easily see her being like, yeah, man, I'm going to go holla at Tony and see what he's talking about. But Chad Gable, let's talk about this guy. So they've had Chad Gable in